Michael never imagined the day would come. The day his own wife, Sarah, would look him in the eye in front of his friends and call him useless. Their small, two-bedroom rented flat in a noisy Lekki estate was suffocatingly hot. The generator hummed loudly from the balcony, fighting with the noise of a neighbor's shouting match. The air was thick with the smell of exhaust fumes and stale beer. Michael sat on the warm brown sofa, fanning himself with a folded newspaper. He was a junior bank teller, but his lifestyle aspirations were pure Banana Island. His friends, Benga and Emeka, were lounging on the other chairs, sipping the last of the beer Sarah had bought with her own money. "Omo, this heat is different," Benga said, wiping his brow. "Michael, your madam never returned. We need to reload this." Michael forced a smile. He had promised his friends a full-blown night out, boasting about a non-existent bonus. Now, his account balance was a flat, mocking zero. He was waiting for Sarah's salary to land. The door creaked open. Sarah entered, and the room seemed to shrink. She was 8 months pregnant, her body swollen and heavy. Her cleaner's uniform from St. Nicholas Hospital was damp with sweat, her old slippers caked in mud from the walk from the bus stop. She looked at Michael. She looked at his friends. She looked at the empty bottles on the table. Her eyes hardened. "Oh, madam of the house." Emeka cheered, raising his empty bottle. "Your husband has been waiting for you. We want to buy more drinks. The night is young." Michael stood up, trying to look in charge. "My love, welcome." "Oh, you're back. Please, can you transfer 20,000 Nigerian nairas to my account? I'll send it back on Monday, I swear." Sarah didn't move. She just stared at him. 20,000. For beer. It's for my friends, Sarah. Don't embarrass me, he whispered, his voice tight. Benga laughed from the sofa. Michael. No so woman they control you. You no fit handle your own wife. That was the spark. Sarah, exhausted from scrubbing floors for 9 hours, her back a rod of fire, her feet aching from the baby's weight, finally snapped. "Embarrass you," she said, her voice quiet but shaking with a sudden, cold anger. "You are embarrassed." She took a step closer. "I am the one scrubbing toilets to pay for the Pampers you have not bought. I am the one saving for the hospital bill you have not asked about. I use my last money to buy food, and you use it to buy beer for men who laugh at you." She turned to Michael, her eyes blazing. "I don't have 20,000. I don't even have 1,000. My last money is for transport to the hospital for my checkup tomorrow." "Sarah." Michael warned, his eyes darting to his friends. "Useless," she said. The word dropped into the generator's hum and silenced it. Benga and Emeka froze. "You are a useless man," Sarah repeated, the words tasting like poison. "You want to use my last card to buy beer. You are useless." The silence stretched. Then, slowly, Benga and Emeka started to laugh. It was a low, mocking chuckle that filled the tiny, hot room. Michael's face went from pale to a dark, blotchy red. The laughter of his friends was like fuel on a fire. He took one menacing step toward Sarah. She did not flinch, though her heart hammered against her ribs. "You will regret that word, Sarah," he hissed, his voice so cold it cut through the heat. "I swear on my father's grave, you will live to regret it." He snatched his car keys, the keys to the Honda she was paying for, and stormed out of the flat. His friends followed, still snickering. Sarah locked the door, her hand trembling. She sank onto the sofa, the one his friends had just occupied, and finally, she cried. She had no idea that her one word, spoken in pain, had just signed the death warrant for her entire life. She had given a weak man a reason to become a monster. 2 weeks later. St. Nicholas Hospital, Lekki. It was 3 p.m., the peak of the afternoon rush. Sarah was in the staff changing room, her shift over. Nurses bustled past, their phones buzzing with WhatsApp notifications from the Ward C Gist group. Matron, a stern woman named Mrs. Adeyemi, was visible through her office window, scolding a junior nurse. Sarah, now 9 months pregnant, was just trying to tie her slippers, her back screaming in protest, when the pain hit. It was not a cramp. Her water broke, splashing onto the cheap linoleum floor. "Help!" Sarah gasped, clutching her belly. "Matron. Please. It's time." Nurse Funk, a kind, older nurse, rushed to her side. "It's okay, my dear. We will get you to the labor ward." As they helped her onto a gurney, Nurse Funk pulled out her phone. "What is your husband's number? We must call him." Sarah panted, "Michael Adebayo. He's in my file." Nurse Funk called. "Mr. Adebayo. Your wife's water has broken. St. Nicholas." She listened. "Yes, sir. Right away, sir." She hung up, her face pale. "He's coming." 20 minutes later, as Sarah was being prepped, a commotion started at the reception. Michael arrived, not in his Honda, but in a brand new, black G-Wagon. He stormed in, wearing a sharp suit. But he was not alone. On his arm was Victoria, the Instagram model, wearing sunglasses indoors. "I am here for my wife," Michael boomed. "I just paid the 5 million Nigerian Nairas deposit for the Ambassador VIP win." Matron Adeyemi rushed over. "Mr. Adebayo, thank God. Your wife, Sarah, is in the general ward. She's dilating." Michael cut her off. He looked at Victoria, then at the matron. "Are you confused?" "This," he said, pulling Victoria forward, "is Mrs. Michael Adebayo. The one I paid for." "But sir," matron protested, looking at her files. "Our records," the pregnant staff member. "She is a cleaner," Michael spat. "A cleaner who got pregnant. Is it my fault? Let her use the general ward like her mates. Now, show my real wife to her suite. The stress is upsetting her." From the gurney in the hallway, Sarah heard every word. Her chest felt like the Lekip Expressway at 6 p.m. Everything jammed. Her throat closed. The contraction was bad, but this pain was worse. "Michael," she whispered. He heard her. He looked right at her, his eyes as cold and empty as a failed ATM. Then he turned his back. Nurse Fang gasped, her hand flying to her mouth. 2 other junior nurses whispered, "Jesus. Is that not our cleaner, Sarah? No, whoa. This man is wicked." Matron Adeyemi, seeing the 5 million Nigerian Nairas alert, simply stiffened. "This way, Mr. Adebayo." She led Michael and Victoria to the elevators. Nurse Funk was the sympathetic one. She gripped Sarah's hand, her own eyes angry. "Don't mind him, my dear. Don't let that devil steal your strength. You have to be strong for this baby." Nurse Funk pushed Sarah's gurney, not towards the private rooms, but to the noisy, crowded general labor ward. The smell of antiseptic and suffering hit her. From the elevator, she heard Victoria laugh, a high, tinkling sound. "Babe, I can't wait for my champagne bath." Sarah's phone, on the gurney beside her, buzzed. The bank alert. Her salary had landed. And a moment later, another alert. A debit, 150,000 Nigerian Nairas. Michael had cleared it. The general labor ward. It was 8 p.m. The room was a long hall with 10 beds, separated by thin, stained curtains. The air was hot, the main AC was broken, and a single ceiling fan wobbled, pushing the smell of blood and Dettol around. Phones were forbidden for patients. Witnesses were the other 9 women, all in various stages of agony, and 2 overworked midwives, including Nurse Funk. Sarah was on bed 3, her old phone clutched in her hand, screen cracked. A new wave of pain, stronger than the last, ripped through Sarah. She screamed, clutching the metal bed rail. "I can't. It hurts too much." Nurse Funk wiped her brow. "You are 8 centimeters, my dear. It is time. You must push." Just as Sarah bore down, a junior nurse burst into the ward, her phone screen glowing. "Nurse Funk. You must see this," she whispered, hiding her phone from the matron. "It's that model, Victoria. She's on Instagram Live. From the VIP wing." Nurse Funk glanced at the phone. It was Victoria, in a plush pink robe, on a luxurious bed. Michael was feeding her grapes. "Shout out to my boo," Victoria was saying to her 2.3 million followers. "He got me the whole ambassador suite, while some dirty Ajugana rat is probably screaming in a gutter. #blessed wife #Quintins. Is pregnancy not for strong women?" the junior nurse whispered, not unkindly. "Why is that one taking sweet just to lie down?" "Shut up," Nurse Funk hissed, shoving the phone away. But it was too late. Sarah had heard. "She called me a rat," Sarah panted, tears and sweat mixing. "In a gutter. Do not listen," Nurse Funk commanded. "That woman is a demon. Now, you push." The humiliation gave her a strange, furious strength. She thought of her baby. She thought of the word rat. She let out a roar that was more anger than pain and pushed with all her might. Her body was tearing, but her spirit was focused. She will not win, Sarah thought. She will not. The other women in the ward, momentarily distracted from their own pain, watched. "Oh, this life," one woman groaned from bed 5. "Rich man's wickedness. God they watch," another panted. The junior nurse who showed the video looked ashamed. "Sorry, Ma," she whispered. "I did not mean for you to hear." Nurse Funk just held her hand, her face a mask of stone. She was the only one holding Sarah, the only one who hadn't given up on her. At 8:32 p.m., Sarah gave birth to a healthy baby boy. He was beautiful. As the midwives cleaned him, Sarah lay back, bleeding and exhausted, her old phone dead on the side table. The generator outside the ward sputtered and died, plunging the room into darkness and heat. Upstairs, in the VIP wing, the private generator kicked in, and the sound of soft music resumed. Another piece of her dignity was gone. 3 days later. The Lekki estate. Sarah arrived in a kicking napep, holding her new son. It was midday, and the sun was merciless. The estate was quiet, house helps washing cars, security guards at the gate. Her neighbor, Mama Chichi, was watching from her window, pretending to sweep her balcony. Sarah's phone had 10% battery, charged by Nurse Funk. She walked to her flat, her stitches pulling with every step. She put her key in the lock. It didn't turn. Confused, she tried again. The lock had been changed. She knocked. "Michael. Michael, it's me. I'm back with the baby." The door opened. Michael stood there, wearing only boxers. "Oh, you're back." He didn't even look at the baby. From inside, Victoria's voice called, "Babe, who is it? Is it the new sofa I ordered?" Victoria appeared, wearing one of Sarah's own lace wigs. She was in a short silk robe. "Oh. The cleaner. You've delivered." She looked at the baby with disinterest. "It's small." "Michael, why is the lock changed?" Sarah asked, her voice shaking. "It's not your house anymore," Michael said, blocking the door. "Victoria is the new madam. She doesn't want you around." "Where will I go?" "Michael, I just gave birth. This is your son." Go to the BQ, he said, pointing to the tiny, windowless servants' quarters at the back of the compound. I've put your old mattress there. Don't come to the main house unless you are called to clean. Victoria needs her rest. The BQ. It's a storeroom. It has no toilet, no fan. Then you should have thought of that before you called me useless, he said. He tossed a small roll of 2,000 Nigerian nairas at her feet. For the baby. Now go. The money lay on the doormat like an insult. Sarah's legs trembled. She looked at her baby's face, then at her husband's. They were strangers. She swallowed the acidic bile in her throat. She would not beg him. Not again. She bent down slowly, her stitches screaming, picked up the crumpled notes, and turned. Mama Chichi, on her balcony, gasped and pulled her curtain closed. Tufiokwa. This is abomination, she muttered to herself. The gateman, Adimu, watched from his post. He felt pity but stayed silent, polishing the estate sign. He needed his job. A house help from next door was recording the scene on her cheap Android phone, sending it to the Lekki Estate staff WhatsApp group. The caption, Oga Michael don't bring new wifo. He don't throw original madam for BQ. Sarah stumbled to the BQ. It was suffocatingly hot, smelling of damp and old shoes. A single, stained mattress was on the floor. She sat down, her body aching, and unwrapped her son. The 10% battery on her phone died. The screen went black. She was completely, utterly isolated, just 30 feet from the home she had built. The week passed. Sarah was a ghost. She lived in the BQ, surviving on the Gariness funk had given her. She would sneak into the main house when Michael and Victoria were out, just to use the kitchen tap to fetch water. She was in the BQ, trying to get her baby, David, to latch. Her phone was charging at the gateman's post. Ademu, the gateman, pitying her, had offered his charger. Ademu knocked softly. Madam. Your phone, it don't fall. He handed it to her. But. Madam, you better see this. He looked worried. Sarah thanked him and took the phone. It lit up with dozens of notifications. Her cousin, Shade, had tagged her in 50 posts on Facebook. She opened Facebook. The first image made her stop breathing. It was a screenshot from Victoria's public Snapchat story. The picture was taken inside Sarah's master bedroom. On her bed, Victoria was sitting there, wearing Sarah's best lace wig, the one Sarah was saving for the baby's dedication. And she was holding David. Michael was beside her, popping a bottle of malt. But the caption, written in a flowing pink font, shattered her world into a million pieces. Welcome to the world, my treasure. Mommy and Daddy love you so much. So blessed to finally show off my new son. #blessed wife, #new mom, #my king gives me everything. They were naming her child. They had stolen her husband, her home, her bed, her wig, and now they had stolen her son's name. Her phone dropped from her nerveless fingers onto the mattress. Her mouth opened, but no sound came out. It was a silent, hollow scream. Her breast milk, which had just begun to flow properly, dried up instantly from the shock. David, sensing her distress, began to wail. The witnesses were digital. Under her cousin's Facebook post, the comments were flying. Wait, I thought this was Sarah's husband. No, so life be. The one with money wins. Wow, she even stole the baby. This Victoria has no fear of God. One of her old friends from church texted her privately, Sarah, I'm so sorry. I saw the post. I wish I could help, but your husband is. I can't get involved. I will pray for you. Sarah stared at the wall. The digital shame was worse than the physical. The world was watching her replacement. From the main house, she heard the party starting. Michael's friends, Benga and Emeka, had arrived. Their laughter was the soundtrack to her despair. Her baby was crying, hungry, and her body, in its ultimate betrayal, had nothing to give him. 3 days later, David was crying from hunger. The Gary was finished. Sarah was desperate. She took the 2,000 Nigerian nairas Michael had thrown at her and walked to the Lekki Expressway. She took a kiki to the ShopRite. It was a busy Saturday afternoon. The mall was filled with families, rich couples, and teenagers taking selfies. The AC was a relief. She went to the baby aisle, her old slippers flapping on the polished floor. She looked at the formula. The good one, SMA Gold, was 12,000 Nigerian nairas. She only had 1,800 Nigerian nairas left after the kiki. She found the cheapest brand, a local one in a small sachet. 1,500 Nigerian nairas. She held the small sachet, her only purchase, and went to the checkout. Then she heard it. A loud, booming laugh she knew too well. "Babe, just buy the whole case of Hennessy. My promotion just landed." It was Michael. He was at the next checkout counter. With him were Victoria, Benga, and Emeka. Their 2 trolleys were overflowing, imported steak, champagne, designer ice cream. Victoria spotted her first. Her eyes lit up with a cruel fire. "Oh, look," she announced, her voice carrying across the supermarket. "It's the dirty Ajigona girl. Come to buy, what is that?" She strode over to Sarah. Before Sarah could react, Victoria snatched the sachet of formula from her hand. "This?" Victoria sneered, holding it up. "Is this the dust you want to feed my treasure with? You want to poison my son with this gutter powder?" "Please, Victoria, give it back," Sarah whispered. "It's all I have." "You have nothing," Victoria said. She ripped the sachet open and poured the white powder onto the floor, right at Sarah's feet. "Oops. Clean it up." Sarah froze, staring at the pile of white powder. Her baby's food. Her last 1,500 Nigerian nairas. It was gone. Tears burned, but she swallowed them. She looked at Michael. He was standing with his friends, smirking, enjoying the show. He, a bank teller, was letting this woman destroy her. Benga and Emeka roared with laughter. "Michael, your girl is dramatic," Benga shouted. "Remember that day she called you useless? Look at her now. She's the useless one, begging for dust." Shoppers were staring. Phones were out. People were recording, the red record lights like little judgmental eyes. A security guard came over. He didn't look at Victoria. He nudged Sarah. "Madam, abeg, move. You dey block road." The sympathetic witness, a young cashier, looked down, her hands shaking as she scanned Victoria's items. Sarah turned and walked out of the ShopRite, her old slippers flapping. She had nothing. She had no money for the kiki. She began the long, hot, humiliating walk back to Lekki, carrying a hungry, crying child. The sun was too hot. The exhaust fumes from the downforce made her dizzy. Another layer of her soul had been scraped away. It took 2 hours to walk back. When she got to the estate, she stumbled toward the BQ, her body numb. David had cried himself to sleep. The sun was setting. The security guards, Ademo and Charles, were at the main gate, watching the evening traffic. Mama Chichi was on her balcony, drinking a martina. The air was filled with the sound of evening prayers from a nearby mosque. She got to the small metal door of the BQ. It was wide open. She looked inside. It was empty. The stained mattress was gone. Her small bag of clothes was gone. Her baby's mat was gone. "Looking for this?" The voice came from above. Sarah looked up. Victoria was standing on the balcony of the main house. She was wearing a white silk robe, sipping wine, and filming with her iPhone 15 Pro Max. "I'm spring cleaning," Victoria announced, her voice casual. "Can't have rats and roaches while I'm here. It brings down the property value." She pointed with her wine glass. Sarah followed her finger. Her belongings, her wrapper, her nursing bra, David's tiny onesies, the mattress, were in a pile inside the large, open-air estate gutter. "No," Sarah breathed. "Victoria, no. My Bible. My mother's Bible was in that bag." "Oh, that." Victoria laughed. She snapped her fingers. The two security guards, Ademo and Charles, walked over to the gutter, their faces stiff. "Get rid of the rest," Victoria commanded. Ademo picked up Sarah's bag and dumped it into the black, slimy water. Sarah saw her Bible float for a second before sinking. Sarah let out a sound of pure agony. She ran forward, trying to jump into the gutter. "My Bible." Ademo held her back, his face a mask of misery. "Madam, please, no. No order from Olga." Sarah sank to her knees on the pavement, her last link to her mother, her last source of hope, now covered in filth. Victoria was filming the whole thing, laughing. "I'm posting this on my Insta story. Caption, spring cleaning. Getting rid of all the trash. #blessed, #cleanliness is next to godliness." Mama Chichi, on her balcony, saw the Bible. She gasped, "Abomination," and ran inside, slamming her door. She couldn't watch anymore. Ademo, the guard, wouldn't meet Sarah's eyes. He hated himself, but he needed the 40,000 Nigerian nairas per month salary. He was the helpless witness, complicit in her pain. Victoria went back inside. The guards returned to their post. Sarah was left alone, kneeling by the gutter, as darkness fell. She had no home, not even a storeroom. Her clothes were in the sewer. Her phone's battery, which she charged at the gate, was at 5%. She had nowhere to go. That night, Sarah and her baby slept at the estate gate, on a piece of cardboard, hidden behind a hibiscus bush. Scene 7, the church rejection. Set up, 100 words. Sunday. Sarah hadn't eaten in a day. David was weak. She thought, the house of God. They cannot turn me away from the house of God. She used the water from the estate tap to wash her face and her son's. She was wearing the only clothes she had left. The wrapper she'd been wearing for 3 days. She walked to the popular Lekki church nearby, the Victor's Mega Assembly, the one with the massive auditorium and the celebrity pastor. The service was live on giant jumbotron screens. She slipped into the back row, her baby bundled in her wrapper. The music was loud, the AC was cold. For a moment, she felt peace. Then the pastor's voice boomed. "Hallelujah. Today is a special day. We have a special Thanksgiving from one of our new, blessed families." The spotlight hit the front row. "Please, let us welcome Mr. and Mrs. Michael Adebayo, as they come to dedicate their new baby to the Lord." The music swelled. Michael, in a shining white agbada, and Victoria, in a stunning gold lace iro and buba, danced to the altar. Victoria was holding David, my treasure, who was wrapped in an expensive white shawl. They danced to the pastor. Michael took the microphone. "Praise the Lord. God has been so good. He cleared away all my enemies and gave me a queen, and this beautiful son." He handed the pastor a check. The pastor unfolded it, and his eyes widened. A check of 1 million naira. Hallelujah. This is a blessed family. He took the baby, anointed him with oil, and prayed. "We bless you, treasure Adebayo. You will be great in this land. No weapon fashioned against you shall prosper." In the back row, Sarah's heart finally shattered. A sob escaped her. A loud, ragged sound. The woman next to her shushed her. Quiet. They are praying. But Sarah couldn't stop. The tears were flowing, a river of all the pain, the humiliation, the theft. An usher, a stern woman in a green blazer, marched over. "Madam," she hissed. "What is wrong with you? Why are you crying and disturbing the service? This is the house of God." "That's..." Sarah wept. "That's my baby. That's my husband." The usher's face hardened. She had seen these types before. "So you are the side chick, come to destroy a happy home. A witch." Security. 2 large men in black suits came over. "Madam, please come outside. You are distracting the congregation." "No. Please. That is my son." They didn't listen. They each took an arm and lifted her. They escorted her out of the main auditorium, past the staring, judging eyes of the 3,000-member congregation. They left her on the curb outside the high church gates. She could hear the choir singing, "Victory, victory, hallelujah." She sat on the hot pavement, under the relentless sun, an outcast from the house of her own God. Her phone buzzed. A text from Nurse Funk: "I heard what happened. I am so sorry. I am sending you 3,000 Nigerian nairas. Please, find a safe place." But Sarah's phone died before she could even reply. The next morning, Monday, Sarah was still by the estate gate, hidden in the bushes. She was dazed, weak from hunger. David had a fever. She needed to get to a chemist. She saw the black G-Wagon pull up to the gate. A new PA, a young, sharply dressed woman, got out to open the gate manually as the remote was broken. As the PA struggled with the heavy gate, she saw Sarah. Her eyes, behind professional glasses, widened in shock. Sarah recognized her. A flash. 3 months ago. A young woman was crying by the hospital gate. "They stole my bag. My transport money, everything." Sarah, with only 700 Nigerian nairas on her, had pressed her last 500 Nigerian nairas note into the woman's hand. "God will provide," Sarah had said. The woman, Uche, had looked at her, stunned. "Uche!" Victoria screamed from inside the car, her voice muffled by the glass. "Are you blind? Are you stupid? Open the gate. I'm late for my spa appointment." Uche flinched, her face a mix of pity for Sarah and fear of Victoria. She fumbled with the gate, finally pulling it open. "Get in the car and wait," Victoria yelled. Uche ran to the passenger side. Victoria got into the driver's seat. She saw Sarah, huddled by the gutter, her baby on her back. Victoria's lips curled into a smirk. "Is that the gutter rat?" she said, loud enough for Uche to hear. Sarah was standing next to a large, black puddle of gutter water from the previous night's rain. The same gutter that held her Bible. Victoria knew exactly what she was doing. She yanked the steering wheel and hit the accelerator. The G-Wagon lunged forward, and the massive tires sent a tidal wave of filthy, black water erupting from the gutter. It drenched Sarah and her baby. David, shocked and soaked in filth, began to wail. Sarah stood there, dripping, the smell of the sewer clinging to her. She quickly unstrapped her son, trying to wipe the black water from his tiny face with the clean part of her wrapper. She didn't cry. She was too numb. Victoria sped off, her laughter trailing behind her. Inside the car, Uche sat frozen, her hands clenched into fists, her nails digging into her palms. She said nothing, but her eyes were cold with a new, hard resolve. She was the sympathetic witness, trapped by her job, but a seed of vengeance had just been planted. Ademu, the guard, just stared at the ground. "Sorry, madam," he muttered. Sarah said nothing. She readjusted her son, shielded him as best she could, and began to walk. She had no destination. She just walked. She was not just humiliated, she was defiled. She felt like the gutter water had seeped into her skin, into her soul. She was no longer a person. She was just trash. Nightfall. She had walked for hours. She didn't know where she was. She found herself under the Lekekoi Link Bridge. It was dark, smelled of urine and lagoon water, and was filled with other forgotten people, area boys smoking, homeless families on cardboard. The noise of the traffic overhead was a constant, deafening roar. Her phone was a useless piece of plastic in her pocket. The rain started. Not a drizzle, but a cold, driving downpour. It blew in from the sides, offering no escape. She huddled against a concrete pillar, shielding David with her own body. He was hot. The fever was back, worse this time. She had nothing. No food. No money. No home. No phone. She looked at her son's small, still face. He wasn't even crying anymore. He was too weak. This was it. This was the end. She saw a G-Wagon, just like Victoria's, drive past on the bridge above. She could hear the thump-thump of the music, even through the rain. They were probably coming from an expensive dinner at the George. She, Sarah, was under a bridge, and her son was dying. The final humiliation was not from Victoria. It was from God. He had abandoned her completely. A coldness she had never known filled her. It was despair. Not sadness, but a complete absence of hope. She looked at the dark, swirling water of the lagoon just feet away. It looked peaceful. It looked like an escape. Maybe, she thought, it's better this way. The witnesses were the other homeless people. An old, mad woman cackled, "The water spirits are calling." A young boy, no older than 10, huddled with his sister, just watched her with empty eyes. They saw her suffering, but it was just Tuesday. There was no help. No one was coming. She was completely, totally, and utterly alone in a crowd of the abandoned. She pulled her son closer. "No," she whispered. "Not like this." She wouldn't give her enemies the satisfaction. But she had no strength left. Her body was giving up. She could feel the cold seeping into her bones. She had one last weapon. One last thing they hadn't taken. Her voice. Physical position, prostrate on the damp concrete, her sick child bundled in her wrapper beside her. Her body was trembling from cold and hunger. Sarah tilted her head back and screamed at the concrete ceiling of the bridge. "God." Her voice was raw, breaking, echoing over the sound of the rain. "Jehovah. Are you asleep?" The other homeless people stared, annoyed. "Make this woman shut up." "You saw me," she sobbed, beating her fist on the ground. "You saw what they did. You saw them steal my child. You saw them throw my Bible in the gutter. I was in your house, and your ushers threw me out." She was hyperventilating, her vision blurring. "I served you. I was faithful. I gave Uche my last 500 Nigerian nairas. I gave her my food money, in your name. And this is my reward. To die under a bridge like a dog." She looked at David, his breathing shallow. "I am tired," she wept, her voice breaking into a whisper. "My baby is sick. He is going to die. If you are real, if you are truly there, show me." She clutched her son. "I am not asking for a miracle. I am not asking for riches. I am asking for one person. Send me one friend, God. Just one. Send me one person to believe me. Father, I need help. Just one door. Just one chance. If you don't help me, I don't know what will happen. If you don't help me, just take us. Take us now. I cannot do this anymore. I'm leaving it in your hands. She collapsed against the pillar, the rain lashing around her. She held her baby tight to her chest, expecting them both to grow cold. She fell into an exhausted, broken sleep, her last prayer hanging in the damp, cold air. Sarah woke to the sound of a car door. It was morning. The rain had stopped. Her body was stiff, her clothes soaked. David was breathing. Faintly, but breathing. A small, clean Toyota Corolla had parked just feet away. A woman got out. She was wearing simple jeans and a t-shirt, but she moved with purpose. It was Uche. Sarah. Uche said, her voice urgent. Oh my God, Sarah Adebayo. Sarah stared, confused, her mind foggy. Uche. How did you find me? I've been looking for you since yesterday, Uche said. She was already pulling a thick blanket from her car. After Victoria, after she splashed you. I couldn't sleep. I quit my job this morning. She wrapped the blanket around Sarah and the baby. I went to the estate. The guard said you never came back. I've been driving around Lekki for 2 hours. I had a feeling. God told me to check under the bridge. Uche's face was hard. Sarah, you need to come with me. Now. We have to get the baby to a hospital. She helped Sarah into the car, turning the heater on high. She handed her a bottle of water and a warm meat pie from a nylon bag. Eat. Please. We have to talk. Sarah's hands trembled as she ate the first food in 2 days. It was the best thing she had ever tasted. Uche, why? You lost your job. You don't remember me, do you? Uche said, her eyes meeting Sarah's in the rearview mirror. You're Victoria's PA. Before that, Uche said. 3 months ago. St. Nicholas Hospital Gate. I was crying. A man had stolen my bag, my transport money. I was stranded. Recognition dawned on Sarah's face. You, Uche said, her voice thick with emotion, were leaving your shift. You looked as tired as I felt. You stopped. You gave me 500 Nigerian nairas. It was your last money. I could tell. You said, God will provide. Sarah, that 500 Nigerian nairas was my deliverance. I used it to get home. The next day, I got the job with Victoria. I saw you, Uche continued, her voice growing cold. I saw what they did. I've been documenting everything. Sarah, they are not just wicked. They are trying to kill you. The revelation and instruction. What do you mean? Sarah whispered. Uche pulled the car over onto a quiet side street. She took a deep breath. Yesterday, after she splashed you, she was laughing. She was on the phone with Michael. She said she was tired of you hanging around. She said it was time for phase 2. Phase 2. I didn't know what it meant. But this morning, when I went to her house to quit, she wasn't there. I let myself into her home office. I know her laptop password. Sarah, what I found. Uche pulled out her phone. She is not smart, Sarah. She is just rich. She does everything on WhatsApp. She even talks to the native doctor Michael found for her. Uche opened a chat. The contact was Special Spices. She showed Sarah the screen. Victoria, the baby is still alive. Your charm is not working. Special Spices, madam, be patient. The boy will fall sick. He will weaken. Victoria, I don't have patience. I want that cleaner and her bastard gone. I want them to die. It's ruining my brand. Michael is getting weak. Sarah's hand flew to her mouth. That's not the worst part, Uche said, her hands shaking. She's planning with Michael. He's been the one funding it. They were planning to give you poison baby formula. She opened another chat. A group chat named Project You. The members, Victoria, Michael, and Benga, his friend. Michael, she's still at the gate. This is a problem. Victoria, I have the new formula. The special one. I'll get someone to give it to her. Tell her it's from a charity. Benga, make it clean oh. No mistakes. Once it's done, we celebrate. Michael, just make sure she uses it. Once she and the boy are gone, I'll sell the Honda, we'll have more cash. It needs to look like an accident. Malnutrition. Sarah looked at the message, at her husband's words. Malnutrition. He was planning to murder his own son and frame her for it. They are monsters, Uche said. And we are going to expose them. How? Sarah wept. Uche, they are rich. They are powerful. We are nothing. Look at me. I'm covered in gutter water. You are not nothing, Uche said, her voice like steel. I have screenshots of everything. I have the native doctor's phone number. I have Michael's bank transfers to him. But Victoria is sloppy. She doesn't just text. She sends voice notes. Uche smiled. A cold, dangerous smile. There is an estate meeting tomorrow afternoon. The new chairman, a retired judge, is investigating Michael for 2 million Nigerian nairas in unpaid service charges. Victoria will be there to show off and bully him. We will be there, too. But they'll throw us out. No, Uche replied, handing Sarah a new, simple phone. They won't. Because I already sent the judge an anonymous email with one of the voice notes. He's expecting us. He just doesn't know it's us. She started the car. First, the hospital. We need to get David checked. Then, my flat. You will shower, you will rest. And tomorrow, Sarah, we get justice. Momentum building. Uche drove them to a small, private clinic in Suralea where her cousin worked. David was treated for a fever and mild dehydration. He was strong. He would be fine. That night, in Uche's clean, safe one-bedroom flat, Sarah took her first hot shower in weeks. Uche gave her a simple, dignified Ankara dress. Wear this tomorrow, she said. Sarah looked at Uche, her eyes full of tears. Why are you doing all this? It's dangerous. You gave me 500 Nigerian nairas when I had nothing, Uche said. You showed me kindness when I expected none. I'm not just repaying a debt, Sarah. I'm balancing the scales. They stayed up late, Uche organizing the evidence onto a USB drive. She sent Sarah a text. Uche, tomorrow at 3 p.m. Be ready. Wear the blue dress. Don't be afraid. God's got you. Meanwhile, in Lekki, Victoria was oblivious. She posted a new photo on Instagram, pouting in her G-Wagon. Caption, off to an annoying estate meeting. People just don't know who I am. Face with rolling eyes # billionaire daughter problems. She had no idea what was coming. The next day, Uche received a summons. It was an official invitation to the estate security and financial meeting. She had also, anonymously, forwarded the invitation to a few other key people, Chief Alekija, Victoria's father, the head of HR at Michael's bank, and Nurse Funk from Street Nicholas. She just told them, a matter of grave importance concerning your reputation will be discussed. At 2:30 p.m., Sarah held her son, David, who was now clean and dressed in new clothes. Her hands were shaking. I'm scared, Uche. Don't be, Uche said, grabbing her laptop bag. Your suffering wasn't wasted. It was preparation. The same people who watch you suffer will watch you rise. Let's go. The estate clubhouse was packed. 50 residents sat on white plastic chairs, fanning themselves, an air of tension in the room. At the front, the new estate chairman, a bald, imposing man with glasses, sat at a table. This was Judge R.T.D. Adewale. He had a projector screen set up beside him. Michael and Victoria swept in. He, in an expensive senator suit. She, in a white lace dress, looking like an angel. She was dripping in diamonds and scrolling through her iPhone 15 Pro Max. They took seats in the front row. Victoria didn't even look up. "We can now begin," the judge said, his voice booming. "Mr. Michael Adebayo, we are here to discuss your 2 million Nigerian nairas in outstanding service charges." Victoria laughed, a light, dismissive sound. "Excuse me. Is that what this is about?" She stood up, pulling down her sunglasses. "Do you people know who I am? My father is Chief Alekija. He can buy this entire estate and turn it into a car park. You should be apologizing to us for wasting our time with this nonsense." Michael smirked, leaning back, king of his small castle. "Mrs. Adebayo," the judge said, his voice dangerously calm. "In this estate, we are all residents. And you will sit, and you will listen." The door at the back of the hall opened again. Sarah walked in. She was clean, her hair neatly packed. She wore the simple, blue Ankara dress. She was holding the head. Beside her, in a sharp black suit, was Uche, holding a laptop. The room fell silent. Whispers erupted. "Is that not the cleaner? I thought she left." "No, well, why she come here?" Victoria turned. Her smile vanished. Her face contorted with pure, unadulterated rage. "What is she doing here?" "Security. Ademu. Get this trash out. She's trespassing." Michael jumped up. "Chairman, this is an insult. We will not stay here and be harassed by my wife's former cleaner." "Sit down, Mr. Adebayo," the judge commanded. She was invited. He looked to the back. "Ms. Uche, you may proceed." Victoria's blood ran cold. "Uche, you are fired." "You can't fire me, Victoria," Uche said, walking calmly to the front. "I quit yesterday." The opening and questioning. Uche plugged her laptop into the projector. "Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Uche Okoro. I am Mr. Adebayo's former PA, and Mrs. Adebayo's former PA as well." She turned to Victoria. "Victoria, a simple question. Did you or did you not conspire with your husband, Michael, to poison this baby?" The room gasped. Victoria laughed, but it was a high, thin sound. "She's mad. This is what happens when you hire from the gutter. She's delusional. This is slander. We will sue you. We will sue this whole estate." Michael was sweating. "This is nonsense. We love our son, my treasure." "Your son?" Sarah spoke for the first time. Her voice was quiet, but it carried in the silent hall. "His name is David. And you are not his mother." "Enough!" Victoria shrieked. "Chairman, stop this." "Ms. Uche," the judge said. "Your evidence. If you have any." "Thank you, sir," Uche said. She clicked a file. "The evidence revelation." "Victoria, you really shouldn't use WhatsApp when planning a murder," Uche said. The projector lit up. It was a screenshot of the Project U group chat. "Michael, she's still at the gate. This is a problem." "Victoria, I have the new formula. The special one. I'll get someone to give it to her. Benga, make it clean. Oh. No mistakes. Michael, just make sure she uses it. It needs to look like an accident." Malnutrition. The residents gasped. "Jesus. Blood of Christ. Those are fake." Michael shouted. "They are photoshopped. Are they? Uche said. Then I suppose this is fake, too. She clicked another file. This time, audio. She turned on the Bluetooth speaker, and Victoria's own voice filled the room. Uche. That useless cleaner is still hanging around the gate. I'm sick of her. I need you to give her this special baby formula. Tell her it's a gift from a charity. Make sure she uses it. Mama Chichi, the nosy neighbor, stood up. I knew it. I knew she was a witch. And this one, Uche said, her face grim, is from her native doctor. Doctor, the poison is not working fast enough. She's still alive. I want her to suffer. I want her to be in pain. Double the dose, I will pay you anything. The room erupted. It's a lie. Victoria screamed, her eyes wild. It's AI. It's deepfake. Is this deepfake? Uche asked, playing the final file. Babe, are you sure this will work? Once that useless cleaner and her baby are gone, I'll be the real Mrs. Michael. Your promotion at the bank is secure. Just make sure it's clean. It was Victoria's voice, then Michael's. Just make it clean. I don't want problems. Michael lunged for the laptop. Turn it off. The estate security blocked him. Ademu, the guard, looked him in the eye. No, Oga. No more. The mirror punishment. This is wickedness, someone shouted. The crowd was surging forward, pure rage on their faces. Enough, the judge bellowed, slamming his gavel. This is not an estate matter. This is a criminal conspiracy to commit murder. He pointed to the back of the room. Officers, you may enter. 2 police officers, who had been waiting outside, walked in. Victoria saw them and her mind snapped. She ran for the door. The officers intercepted her. No. Get off me. My father will have your jobs. Daddy. Victoria. A new voice. Cold and powerful. A man in a white agbada, who had been standing silently in the back, walked forward. It was Chief Alekija. Uche's anonymous email had worked. Victoria froze. Daddy. Daddy, thank God. Tell them. It's all a lie. He looked at his daughter, his face carved from stone. I heard the voice notes. I heard your voice. He shook his head, a deep, profound sadness in his eyes. You are no longer my child. He took out his phone. He didn't call. He went on Instagram Live. The entire room watched as the billionaire pointed his camera at his weeping daughter. I, Chief Alekija, disowned this girl, Victoria. She is not my blood. She is a disgrace. Accountant, he said, speaking to his phone, freeze her accounts. All of them. Now. No. Victoria screamed, a sound of pure animal terror. Daddy, no, please. Michael, seeing the ship sink, tried to sneak out. Mr. Adebayo, the judge called. Don't go. Your boss from the bank is on Zoom. Uche turned her laptop. Michael's boss, the head of HR, was on the screen. Michael Adebayo. We have seen the evidence provided. You are fired, effective immediately. Your attempt to defraud the bank using your wife's account has been noted. Security will meet you at your desk on Monday to escort you out. You are a disgrace to this bank. Michael collapsed into a chair, his senator suit suddenly too big for him. The video of Victoria being disowned on IG Live, combined with Uche's voice notes, was already on Instablog Ninja. It hit 2.3 million views in 1 hour. The police officers put Victoria in handcuffs. She was screaming, her white lace dress now dirty. It was his fault, she shrieked, pointing at Michael. He said she called him useless. He said she had to pay. He made me do it. Take them both, the judge ordered. They took her away. They took Michael, too, a broken, useless man. Sarah stood, clutching David. She watched them go. She did not smile. She did not cry. She just breathed. In the stunned silence of the clubhouse, the residents surrounded Sarah. They were ashamed. "Please, forgive us," Mama Chichi wept, kneeling before her. "We saw, and we did nothing." Ademu, the guard, approached, his head bowed. "Madam, I am sorry. About your Bible. I will go inside that gutter myself and find it." Nurse Funk, who had been in the back, ran to her and hugged her. "My dear. My child. God has fought for you." The judge, his face soft now, approached. "Madam Adebayo. Your resilience is profound. Chief Alekija, before he left, gave me instructions. He will be paying for your son's education. All of it, up to university. He has also transferred 50 million Nigerian nairas to an account Uche provided, as a public apology for the shame his family has caused you." Sarah just nodded, tears of relief finally falling. "Thank you, sir." 6 months later. The sound of Lagos traffic was a distant hum. Sarah stood on the balcony of her new, 3-bedroom apartment in a quiet, green estate in Ikeja. It was clean, it was peaceful, and it was hers. Bought and paid for. She was not a cleaner anymore. After the public disgrace, St. Nicholas Hospital, desperate to save its reputation, had offered Sarah a full scholarship to their nursing program. She was top of her class. Her son, David, was healthy, chubby, and laughing in his playpen. He was enrolled in the best creche in Lagos, Crimson Private School. The door opened. Uche walked in, holding 2 steaming mugs of tea and a tablet. "Good morning, partner," Uche smiled. "The delivery vans are all loaded. Uche and Sarah Logistics is officially profitable. That last-mile delivery contract we won is solid." Sarah smiled, taking the mug. "God is good." Victoria and Michael were convicted. Their trial was the talk of Lagos. She got 15 years for attempted murder and conspiracy. He got 10 for his part. Benga and Emeka were charged as accessories. The church pastor was fired. The Special Spices native doctor was arrested. In the end, it was a text message that exposed it all. A series of digital words, powered by a wickedness that underestimated the woman they tried to destroy. Sarah looked out over the city. She had learned that useless was not a word to be thrown around. But she also learned that true strength wasn't in the absence of suffering, but in surviving it. Her phone buzzed. A new alert. Another order for their logistics company. She smiled. "Uche," she said. "Let's get to work. Be careful who you trample on your way up. The person you call a useless cleaner today may be the one whose story brings down your entire kingdom. And never, ever underestimate the power of a single act of kindness." That 500 Nigerian naira seed Sarah planted in Uche's life returned as a harvest of deliverance. Type Amen if you believe God will expose every enemy that is plotting against you in secret.